Ireland, on Mason and Ireland.
It's a real show, Jack.
That was there's the post. This is the scene.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
Travis and Sliwa, a live imaging Tuesday. We were just talking about the strength of Emily knowing a lot of the shows out there, almost every show. But producer Lindsay's like that with documentaries. You cannot beat her on a documentary. It's like she's got an inside track. Once it's posted to Netflix, she's already seen it. Is there a tamale chant going on?
There's a tamale chant
there's
going
like
on right now.
a festival of tamales taking place out there, and that I'm not a part of it. It kind of bothers me.
Why aren't you out there? You should be out there.
I would like
take
to.
The Comrex.
My show is on right
Can you take the Comrex
now.
and broadcast live from the tamale chant down the hall?
I'll use the Comrex field tap on my phone. I'll just
There's
call
just
in.
one cord. All the doors have to stay open that Travis connected to.
It's a lot. Look, everybody's queued up. Everybody's very excited to get their hands on those tamales.
It's orderly. Everybody's kind of taking their time. Berg's already in there. It's the second time he's gone through the line.
You know, I kind of got turned around on tamales. Remember when we first started? It was one of the more divisive topics that I was not.
Said you don't like them.
I got turned around on them. You know who did it? Alex downstairs. Alex brought in that bag of tamales one day,
right?
And he gave me a couple
homemade tamales. Change your life.
They were so good. I'm now team tamale.
I was always kind of okay. Yeah, you threw me off. That one I think threw a lot of people off.
These were game changing.
Okay,
game changer. Good tamales.
By the way, you know what
112 will get one.
So we know that Lakers Talk Daily is something you can consume every day on YouTube, and many have. But we have a new one for the start of baseball season.
What do you got?
The Dodgers Blue Review. Well, did you see the look Slee just gave me? Like, hey, can't believe Clinton and Greg are getting on my zone.
No, I need them on there. As many as we can get on ESPN, like YouTube. Let's just get everybody in there.
So be sure to join Corporate Greg and Clinton Yates every day for the Blue Review.
They do it together?
Well, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, they're together. It's like
Will
a
you
show.
be featured on it, Travis, at some point?
I would love to be a guest. I would love to be a fill-in host. I'll be the pinch hitter, the utility player. Whenever they need me,
it's a real movie, Jack.
Like Chris Taylor.
Yes, I'll take that.
Just search ESPN LA on YouTube. That's where you can watch us live, by the way. We figured out the internet, so we're back up.
Oh, we're back?
I think so. Bam! And be sure to watch the Blue Review every day this baseball season, okay? Do it for Corporate Greg.
You don't have to talk me into looking about the Dodgers. I'm in. I watched spring training games, Slee.
Every day. Oh, you watched
2:35 last night, by the way.
2:35.
2:35.
Okay, what's the right? We're talking about this yesterday. There's the day before was 2:08.
Sunday night.
I love it.
Sunday night was 2:08.
2:08.
Way
I think
too
we
fast.
both agreed. We thought was too fast. I think 2:30 is the right spot.
So a primetime NBA game, like a Sunday
Two and a
primetime,
half.
2.5.
2.5.
That's about right
Yeah.
for
2.5.
primetime. But I like those 7:30 games to be done by 9:30. I got to go to bed
7:30 games are. Why do
tough.
those seem so?
because they're usually primetime.
They used to always be 7:30. Laker games used to always be at 7:30 when it was at home. Those seem so late now. You have 6:30s, you have 7s, and when you get a 7:30 in there, you feel like. But they're doing them on Friday nights, which is better than doing it on a Tuesday night or something like that.
So here's the thing: if we've got the actual games down to about the right amount of time, right? Somewhere around 2.5 hours.
In which league?
In baseball.
Okay, because
Right.
NBA could be a lot shorter
They could be tighter.
too.
They could be, but a baseball game in 2.5 hours really kind of rips along. Now we just need fewer of them. Instead of 162 regular season games, let's play about 100. Let's play about 100 because now all of a sudden this one of 162, they're all relatively statistically unimportant. If you take off basically a third of the season, now every game, every series, if you fall behind by 8 or 9 games early, you're in big trouble. There's not enough time. You would own the summer, finish before baseball or before football starts, and you've got people's attention. People are excited about this. WBC, Ohtani, quicker games. Now just chop off about 50 games.
You agree that would never happen, right?
No, it'll never happen, but it would make it better. Yeah. It would make it a lot better.
By the way, I don't even need 100. I think even if they went down to 1-4, if you could take 1 month off of baseball, take 25 games off, something
take September
like that.
and October, the combined.
I'm
just
okay
take
with that. You know, obviously they wouldn't do. I mean, basketball is a good example too. There's been conversations about do you go down from 82 down to 70? 70 was during the COVID years. That's what they ended up
If they
with.
could go down to 35, the Lakers can win again. Sorry.
No, if you go down to 35, then they wouldn't have enough time to come back from the 2-10 start.
By the way, can we do anything about the Pac-12 after dark? The 5.5-hour San Diego State and Fresno State game?
Unwatchable.
Starts at 7, ends at midnight.
Unwatchable.
You get San Diego State in the Pac-12. I don't care if the game's the game's at midnight. I'm okay with it.
They'll play Hawaii every week.
I don't care.
When
Just get them in the Pac-12.
Oh, it's rough. It's a long night.
No, the Pac-12 after dark is the old. Any college football of all of these is the worst offender. And an average length college football game is close to 4 hours. That means if
Do you
you're
ever-
kicking
do you ever
off
on
at
a-
7, it's past midnight.
Do you ever on a Saturday night where you're saying to yourself, you're like, all right, cool, there's been so much that just happened in sports. Give me a little Sports Center. And you tune in, you go to ESPN, and it's the start of the third quarter in the Arizona State and Washington game. I'm like, you're just starting the third? I got to wait this long for a Sports Center?
86 replays later, you're halfway through the third quarter.
I'm going to go check out the tamale thing for you.
Let me give
Let
me
us know. Yeah.
some hand signals through the glass. Let me know how we're doing over there.
You're only going to
along
get
the way.
one hand signal from this guy. Amazing. He's going to have a thumbs
thought
up.
I was going to get a different one. Different
And
digit.
that one, too. That one as well.
Dodger game last night. I'm watching the game, and real quick, just since we're fixing baseball, I got another thing that we should do.
Okay.
And they had, I was watching the Dodger feed, so it was Tim and Eric Karros were calling the play-by-play and analysis. But they had third base coach Dino Ebel mic'd up.
Okay.
Slee, it was so good.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's so good. He's talking about the positioning of the outfielders. He's talking about which guys he's going to send, which guys, depending on situation, score, inning. It was
That's
like
unique.
really
Very
deep
unique.
insight, and it's happening during the game. It was really an added value to a telecast. This isn't the normal, let's go talk to a guy on the bench between innings. It's like, Kershaw's got his good stuff today. Hopefully we win, good Lord willing. It's like, stop. It's just cliche BS. He's offering you insight. And he would say, well, the outfielder's kind of shaded to the line. So if I get a gapper here, we're going to, it's really cool stuff along the way.
Was it last year the first time it happened? It might have been on Sunday Night Baseball. Weren't they miking up some of these players?
Yeah.
Right? It was Sunday Night Baseball, and Mookie's the one that sticks in my head. And
he did it.
I don't know if it was a regular season. I can't remember if it was.
It was.
But
I don't know if Mookie did it, but they had players mic'd up during the regular season.
that is one of the coolest perspectives that you can get, where it's action. The ball could be hit to him. Anything can happen, and this dude is mic'd up. And at the same time, now I would imagine if the players don't want to do it, I get that it's a distraction, but from just a pure entertainment perspective, that's amazing.
I get why the players might say no. That makes
Yeah, it does.
If the left fielder says, "Listen, I got to go run down fly balls and throw guys out," I understand that, right? And it almost has to be an outfielder because they have the most downtime.
Yeah,
you're
less
not
action.
you're not going to do the pitcher or the catcher. Probably not going to do the infield. So you want to put an AirPod in the right fielder's ear? Cool.
Can we do the
I like
pitcher
it.
and the batter, and they could
They
talk
did
to
it
each
during
other?
the All-Star game. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They
it
did.
was
That's what it
amazing.
was.
It was so, and they were talking to John Smoltz in the booth. I think it was the guy Alex Manoah for the Blue Jays. Is like, "Hey Smoltzy, what do you want here?" He goes, "Back foot slider," and he strikes him out. I'm like, "This is awesome.
That's awesome.
It's so good." But now that we're fixing baseball, it feels like they've got an opportunity to really. They've shortened the time of games. They've made the bases larger. They've got the ghost runner in extra innings. They're trying stuff. For 130 years, like, well, Babe Ruth and Satchel Paige didn't play. Like, who cares, right? That was 100 years ago. The sport has changed. People's habits have changed. What we're interested in has changed.
It's evolving.
Right?
It's evolving in front of us. It's
evolving,
a good thing.
and now all of a sudden, mic these guys up. Have the games go quicker. I'm for moving the mound back. Guys are throwing 104 miles an hour. I want more runs. I want more plays. They are more willing to do things now than they have been at any point in the history of that sport, and I think it's awesome.
So we give the commissioner, and rightfully so. I mean, I think this is common with all commissioners. Kind of we always give them heat. With that in mind, what do you got here? Got two.
Yeah, I'm just eating.
Yeah, we're not going to
Keep
watch
your
it
hands
all.
on your side of the table, Sliwa.
Wow, that looks amazing, bro.
Should we?
I don't remember. What
You were
else.
talking about the commissioner.
I don't know.
You were
Commissioner
talking about-
seems like a nice guy.
I don't think anybody likes him. You're the only one that seems to like Manfred, but he did make some.
No, I don't
decisions.
like him. I'm saying that the game has at least evolved. Give him a little credit in that, because I think if there's one thing with baseball, it's the sport that has evolved the least. I'm out. I don't know what's going on either. I see food.
Yeah, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go check out the tamales.
Chris is like he's at Mastro's. He's set up here like he's at a steakhouse.
we're gonna check out the
Another
tamales.
round, huh? It's on the house.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about the evolution of that Dodger team, right? And why it looks different, but it's gonna be the
Love
same.
that quote.
That's
For the table. Now we
nothing
just
makes-
need the Jersey accent.
Nothing is a
From
better
Emily.
moment when you hear somebody say, "Just bring it for the table." It's like, hallelujah, absolutely. Travis Lee, 710.
Little before noon on a live imaging Tuesday on Travis and Sliwa, the lunch hour, and we are enjoying some tamales. Thanks
Travis
to
is in line.
Travis is in line.
I miss doing the show with Trav, to be honest with you. It's been
Well,
a
you got
while.
me.
It's been a while. Trav, he's in the whole time. Guy
Our social
works
media
hard.
our social media manager, Cairo Saisu, he won at Bev's Tamales to come on out and cook tamales for the entire lunch hour here, which is great. At bevstamales.com, and they are fantastic.
Yeah, it's quite the crowd there. But Trav, it's like the guy is committed. He works his, off. He's here, whatever he needs to do. The moment food comes in, everything else is like, I don't know if I'm going to see
It's
Trav
sort of
again
like
the rest
Emily
of the show.
when Taylor Swift comes out.
Yeah,
There's no more rhyme or reason.
that's a good example.
It's just that's all I'm singularly focused on. That's all I'm going to care about until I get it, until I listen, until I parse everything, and then I'm fine.
Emily,
Same for
you and
Travis.
I are so thoughtful because we let Taylor and Trav go just in case, right? It's a 4-man team here. We're going to hold it down.
5 today.
Someone needs to be here.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like in general, right? Like in general, and you're eating, so you got food as well.
And I got to go to a meeting.
Which one have you eaten so far?
Just I believe the birria.
That's the one I have on my plate right now.
Is it not fantastic?
I had the cheese and green chili.
That's
Look at
the
the
one.
smile on
You
that
should-
face.
He's very happy.
That. I'm just saying
No,
that.
he's very happy.
Remember, I said before my favorite one's the cheese and green chili. It
What
really
kind of
delivered.
communication was it? Hey, what time are you guys going to be here till? Was it, hey, can I get a car? Like, what was
So
the
there's-
interaction like?
They have 4 different types out there right now. And so she said, what can I get for her? I said, well, I feel like I'd be doing it wrong if I didn't have one of each. And she looks at me and goes, do you really want 4?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Yes, I do. I would like one of each.
She had to call her manager and say, listen, we were not
We've got a
prepared for
problem.
this.
Look at the smile on his face. Is that a facha? As somebody once said, is that a facha? Look at that smile, that face.
Yeah, what are the options outside of the birria and the?
Birria,
Hey,
cheese,
for the
mole,
table.
and chicken and red salsa.
Okay, I'm just.
Let's
I'm just
have
thinking
one of
about
each
what I want.
for the table, hon.
For the table.
It is
Bring me
by
some of those
far
flowers.
my favorite quote from Chris Morales.
It's good.
It doesn't matter, and it comes out of nowhere. We'll sit here
What
talking
event
about
were
something.
we at?
Hey, for the table.
What event were we at that I started doing that and you were laughing hysterically? We were at something where we ate. I can't think of it now. It was something recent, wasn't it?
Could it have been the pickleball at the pickleball when we were getting the hot dogs or
Might
something
have
like
been.
that? Because that's recent, and
No.
we did have the dogs all together
No.
where we're hitting.
when we slapped our sausages together?
Still felt
Bratwurst?
We did
How great was that bratwurst, though?
Very
really good.
No, it was something else. We were sitted at something.
Well,
and I
what
said
would
it
it
for
have
the table.
been before?
I don't know. Anyway, Travis and Sliwa continues now.
The birria, Slee. Mm-hmm.
That's
You could start there, too. You're going to be pleased. I would imagine the other 2 are going to be pretty good, too. Taylor, you should probably go back. I kind of cut in front of Taylor because
That's all good.
he's
Did he
more,
pull the card?
There's plenty.
No, I'm hosting a show. It's like I know you're.
My name's on the
opposite.
show, Taylor. You know that, right?
opposite. I said he actually is more important in getting us back on the air than I am.
Right.
And
Sure.
if he's not there, nothing happens.
You still push him
You
out
and
of the
I
way.
could be sitting here staring at each other until somebody hits that button. We can't do jack squat. Right? We're just sitting here. Like Emily, you could get us on the air. Yes.
I could get you in there.
We'll just live stream on our phones. Of 9 people there.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Talk for a while, Slee, so I can take another bite.
Go. Do your thing. Dodgers
Ask me
they
about
start
anything
on
on
Thursday.
TV or Taylor Swift, and I can go. off
Dodgers
for a
start on
while.
Thursday. Lakers
wanna-
need to win some games. Rams are remodeling. Oh,
You're good. You're going through it pretty quick. You're going to need to slow down.
I'm going to Houston. We're the Michelob Ultras.
Did you find out where you're staying yet? Like the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Where is it?
I thought
You just told me south of the stadium.
so 5 miles away. I'll bring it up on the map because I'm not going to know even if I show it to you.
Yeah, but I'll know.
Yeah, you'll know.
Yeah, and you need. I just want to make sure that you head to the right spots because there are some good spots.
All right, I will
What's
show
Houston
you on
known
there.
for? Is it like barbecue? Is it tacos? Is it like what's the Houston culinary?
It's a
scene?
great question, and the answer is
The wings at their 4 a.m. establishments. Is that what they're known for?
They've got a pretty good barbecue scene that they're proud of, and it's good. I believe it or not, people look at me like I got frogs on my face. I'm not the world's biggest barbecue person, right? I like it, but it's not something that I actively seek out. It's good. They got very good barbecue. Houston is an international city. Like, because it's the oil and gas capital of this country, people come from all over the world, from South America, from Scandinavia, from the Middle East. They come from all over the place. So you have all of these very eclectic types of cuisine in Houston. So while you think it's Texas and you think Tex-Mex and barbecue, there's an incredibly eclectic food scene in Houston.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of walking in a little blind to Houston. I don't have too much info there. All right, there's the NRG Stadium's on your left. There's the...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Just be aware of your surroundings at all times.
Take our chances.
just know where you're going and know how you're getting
Just had to do
home.
it. Had to make it happen.
Yeah.
Nobody said it was going to be perfect.
You're going to be fine. You're going to have a good time. All right, let's talk about the Dodgers.
Okay.
Watching the games during spring training, and part of it is that a lot of their guys were spread around the various WBC teams, but looking at the lineup, you're looking at a lineup where you're going to have up the middle, you're going to have two new faces. You're going to have Miguel Vargas at second base, and at least to start the season, you're going to have Miguel Rojas at short. Rojas is not a young player. Played for the Dodgers a million years ago.
Really good defender.
Very
really
good
on
defender,
defense,
not particularly offensive. Then around the outfield, you're going to have Mookie play right field most nights.
Yep.
And then after that, it's kind of up in the air. You're going to get some Chris Taylor in left and center. You're going to have some Trace in center. But you got guys like James Outman, who played last night and has been playing a lot and playing pretty well. And it got me kind of thinking that you're seeing this new group of guys and the transition, and you're going to have in the rotation Gonsolin and May and Pepio's fighting for a spot and Gavin Stone and these other guys. Here are the guys that were all homegrown guys that have kind of either come and gone or are on their way out or are currently there. And and I think what's really interesting about this is not just, hey, we had one really good draft and we got a couple of good players. Think about this. Cody Bellinger is an MVP. He's come and gone. Jock Peterson was a Rookie of the Year. He's come and gone. Corey Seager is a multiple-time All-Star. He's come and gone. Julio Urias is here right now and in the prime of his career. Walker Buehler is here right now and in the prime of his career. Will Smith is here right now and in the prime of his career. Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, Gavin Lux. These were all these different draft classes over the course of the last 7 or 8 years. So when you start to look at this and you know, okay, Justin Turner is gone. Cody Bellinger is gone. Kenley is gone. Corey Seager is gone. These guys like, what's coming next? But Trey Turner wasn't one of their guys. They bought Trey Turner.
Yep.
Okay, these are all guys that they drafted or signed originally. Outman, Vargas, May, Bush, Cartaya, Pepio, Stone, Bobby Miller. These are going to be the next group of guys that we're just talking about. The Bellingers, the Petersons, the Seagers. They just keep reloading the channel, and they'll add a Mookie. They'll add a Turner. They'll add a Freeman.
Scherzer.
They'll add a Scherzer. So while you're looking at this and a lot of the familiar faces are down the road, just because you don't know these guys don't mean they're going to be just as good as the other guys, because you can bank it that his front office, Andrew Friedman's front office, drafts him, finds him, develops him, gets him to the big leagues, and their success rate is so much greater than most of these other teams that even though Dodger fans may not be super familiar with these names, they're going to be quality major league players sooner than later.
So here's a little bit of the difference. I think the Dodgers have had no one can argue, do the Dodgers know what they're doing? No one can argue, are the Dodgers a well-run organization? No one can argue, do the Dodgers have a good farm system and are cropping their own players? I don't think anybody can argue that. I think what's unique about this season specific is you're coming off a season where you won 111, which is stupid. It's ridiculous, right? No,
fourth most all time, I think.
The goal is not go win 111, especially for a Dodgers team. It's what are you going to do in the postseason? I think it's a fact that you're walking into the season where a lot of those players that you're talking about, it's not just, well, if that guy makes it or if he doesn't. They need a couple of these guys to crack that lineup. Yep. They need a couple of these guys to be dangerous. They need a couple of these guys to come through. And you're not wrong that, well, yeah, they needed that before and some of those guys were coming through. You're not wrong at that. I would just say that can it happen overnight with some of these guys or does it take a second? Are you going to have players this season where you're like, that dude ain't getting out of the lineup? Like, he's that good, he's that young, he's that good. Or are you going to have players where I think it's a little bit more natural? They're hot, they're cold. It's going to take some time to just the grind of 162 games in the majors. The Dodgers also did something that forced all of Major League Baseball, at least to an extent. They forced something that's a little bit unique. It's not the best example, but I'll do my best to explain it. The Dodgers made every other team have to raise their game. So teams like the New York Mets went out, they got a new owner, and they're obviously swinging to try to hang, not just with other baseball teams, but the bar is the Dodgers. The Padres.
Well, Peter Seidler said the dragon up north, right? That's what he called the Dodgers. We're trying to slay the dragon up north.
Okay, and I don't know if the Padres still do the same thing if the Dodgers are a 90-win team every year, right? Like, I don't – The bar that I feel like the Dodgers have created and the bar that they've raised, it almost works to their detriment because of how good they are. You got teams like whether it's the Atlanta Braves, the
Phillies,
the Mets, the Phillies, I don't know about the Cardinals, but they always seem to be in the mix. The Padres, you got a lot of teams that are not just saying, guys, we just have to compete in our division, which they're not wrong, but you're really competing against the Dodgers. Other teams got better over the years because they have no choice because of what the Dodgers have built.
When most teams go and draft players, you're like, okay, how many? Let's look at the Angels. The Angels have had a top pick for a very long time. How many guys have shown up on the Angels and been hits? Right?
Crickets, I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Trout, obviously, and they've had some other guys that have been okay, but they haven't had Bellinger, Seager, Peterson, Buehler, Urias, Smith, May, Gonsolin, Lux.
I guarantee you some of those players that the Angels drafted, if they were drafted by
100%.
the Dodgers,
100%.
would have their chances of succeeding would be a lot higher.
100%. And this is where, kind of to bring this back to the Angels here a little bit, the Angels... This is both hilarious and exactly what you don't want. The Angels have 3 guys on their team making more than $30 million. Their highest paid player is Anthony Rendon, who makes $38 million this year.
Wow.
Their second highest paid
How
player...
many games has Rendon played?
7.
Honestly,
it
what?
feels like it. Their second highest paid player is Trout. Their third highest paid player is Ohtani. After that, this is where you need to draft and develop. This is where you need to have, hey, look, we got a May, we got a Gonsolin, we got an Urias, we got some of these guys that maybe they're not all-star number 1 guys. Maybe they are in Urias and Gonsolin's case, but they're major league caliber guys. They can give you 25, 30 starts a year if you need to. Not constantly shuffling through these things. And that's where that list of guys comes in that I'm so excited about. A couple of these guys will be gone. Like, there's a chance, where you say, remember Miguel Vargas? Whatever happened to that guy? That will happen. But there's also going to be a time where you look around and you say, Diego Cartaya is the best catcher in baseball. You're going to have, for every one, you're going to have the other. Most teams, if you get one and you have 6 or 7 others, that's a pretty good batting average. They're almost 1 for 1, and no other team can do that.
And there's going to come a time, remember, was it Josiah Gray when they traded? Yeah. There's always going to be names that you start getting a little bit familiar with, and then they went big game hunting.
Kyber Ruiz and Josiah Gray brought you Max Scherzer and Trey Turner, and a trip deep into the playoffs once and a half times. The other time the Padres got him. Speaking of the Padres, this is what Freddie Freeman said about him. It actually makes me happy as a baseball fan. Owners going for it. I love people going for it. We're all in a competition to win. And when people not just in uniform are trying to win, it's exciting. And then he went on to say, we're not competing against the Padres. We're competing against ourselves. I co-signed the first half, and the second part is laughably wrong. Of course you're competing with the Padres. They just spent $1 trillion on some of the best players in baseball. You're competing with the Padres. You're competing with Machado and Tatis and Bogarts and Soto and Musgrove and Darvish. They have as good of a team as you do. Of course you're competing with them.
So I see where he's coming from. Let me give you an example. I thought the Padres last year were competing with the Dodgers, right? And I think that the moment the Padres, you know what I didn't hear from Peter Seidler? I heard the quote that you just said. We're trying to slay the dragon 2 hours away. What I didn't hear from Peter Seidler was, guys, we're trying to win a World Series. And whether that means it's going to go through the Dodgers or it's going to go through one of these other franchises, our goal, and this could be as simple as this, Trav, there's usually steps in sports, right? First, you got to make the playoffs. And then maybe you got to beat that team that you never beat to now believe, hey, maybe now we got an actual shot at the World Series. I thought the Padres, when they beat the Dodgers, I don't have anything on this, but I thought when they beat the Dodgers, there might have been a second of, wow, we just did it.
Sure.
Beat the Dodgers. They exhaled. The Phillies, they weren't worried about who you beat. The Phillies were trying to win a World Series, to try to get to the World Series. You could have still walked away from the season last season if you're a Padre fan and say, okay, they didn't win a World Series, but damn, that's a big step. Let's see where they go from here. You can sell yourself on that was a good year. I think Freddie Freeman's quote about the Padres, I know what you're saying. What you're saying is, look how much money they just went out and
team
spent.
in the division.
Look at everything that they went out and they
beat you in the playoffs. Of course, you're competing with them.
But the portion that I don't think the Dodgers have to compete with the Padres. There's no guarantee they're going to face. There's no guarantee they're going to face each other in the postseason.
No, but they're going to play each other 14 times. They have the best team on paper.
Mm-hmm.
They're the consensus best team in the National League. Of course, you're competing.
But
with
the
them.
Dodgers, I think it's a different level for them. I think you're always competing to win a World Series. Now, what you could be saying is your path to a World Series, the Padres have to run into that path. But the Dodgers,
they're 90 miles away. They spent $1 billion. They beat you in the playoffs. They're right down the road. You're competing with them.
I think the Padres could be in the way of a World Series, but I think they're thinking much further than just the Padres.
Ohtani might already be the richest guy in baseball.
I know.
He is the richest guy in baseball. How rich will he get after that? That's next. It's Travis Lee, 710 ESPN.
I thought Yacht Rocks for Mason and Ireland on a Tuesday, but I like it. A little Kenny Loggins. Quarter afternoon, Travis and Sliwa on a live imaging Tuesday. Everybody got their tamales, right? Everybody feels good?
Al hasn't.
Al, you haven't gone tamales?
End of the show, I'm going in.
You're not
Emily,
a mid-show tamale guy?
If they pull off the stunt that your taco guy pulled, I could only imagine.
Bad guy. First of all, let's be very clear. It wasn't my taco guy. I would never hire a taco guy that bolted after an hour.
What if he's been listening like for years now and he's just like...
Good. I hope he's ashamed of himself.
If you ever need a taco guy or gal, just go with producer Jorge's family.
Amazing.
They handled Keyshawn's birthday party.
Amazing.
They're amazing.
They are terrific.
So just tweet at Jorge or slide in his DMs. You know what I mean?
Taylor,
yeah, I can't. He doesn't let me talk to him face to face. I always have to go through. I have to email him.
Yeah, well, listen. Don't look him right in the eye.
It's good.
Is it good, Taylor?
Yeah.
For
the
the
birria
table.
is my favorite, but they're both amazing. I got the chicken and the birria.
Yeah.
Guys, taco truck for the table, real quick. What were we at? I can't think of it.
The only thing I think of is I don't think we got together. What event would we have been together at?
Was it
I don't think there
Disneyland?
was another one.
Was it what?
You were the
Disneyland.
biggest
Disneyland?
instigator on this show. Without a doubt.
I didn't get a call.
Taylor is the one that just like the second the
Hey,
fire's
a couple
almost
churros
out,
for the table.
He throws the gasoline right back on
And
those
I had such a
embers.
great time at the pickleball event with Lady Slee and Rookie. I sat there for 30 minutes listening to Slee and, trying to get more inside Slee.
How'd it work?
Did she?
I think Slee loves me, but...
No. Did you get more insight?
Well, I didn't throw a trophy at him like John Ireland.
Yeah, speaking of, have you checked out the hole in the wall?
I came in later that day and was like, really? We're trying to make money, and now we got to fix holes?
Yeah, LA Live's
And he's
got to
like,
do
"Oh,
a
I
full reconstruction. They got to
The
come in.
structural integrity of the building was compromised.
There's an engineer coming in through the city.
Not an
Check
Imagineer, though. Not to be confused with an Imagineer.
That's right.
So, my hair is really big at this moment.
It is.
I'm thinking of going bigger for the Mandys, which, by the way, keep listening. We're getting closer to announcing a date soon. Should I keep going bigger?
Like taller?
Like just big?
Throw it.
I don't know if I could pull off a fro,
Yeah.
but if I could.
I think.
Or
if
should I
you're-
trim it down? Do you want it tighter?
No. I think if you're already mentioning it, it feels like that's what you want to do. I think you should do it.
You got to go tight on the sides. You can go up. Like you can add stories up top, but don't go out wide.
You don't have to go
That's
tight on
not-
the sides.
That's not good.
You do you. Okay.
No, you don't want that.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to go up or tighten it up. The problem is I got a big face. No, shocking. No, that's not shocking. I got a big face, so I think the height helps, right? Or does the height hurt?
Are we being honest with each other?
Yeah.
That's why you got to go up, not out. That's why the sides need to stay
You gotta
tight.
tight sides.
You got to go tight sides and up. That way we stretch it out.
Yes,
we get a
you gotta
little
stretch
height
it out.
to it. Whereas if you're going this way,
Makes everything-
My body doesn't want to go this way.
No.
Right? You want to go this way. I'm giving you good advice.
Yeah. I might have to. I used to have it straightened so I could get the big spikes.
Do you have naturally curly hair?
It's, a little curly. It's the Italian side. Bam! For the table, hon. For the table. For the table.
Have you heard Emily's Italian accent?
No, I need to right now, though.
It's a Jersey. It's as good as. I mean, honestly, I couple times she's done it. I think immediately of The Godfather. I think of Casino. I think of all these mob movies.
Hey, I'm walking here. I got a bagel. Nice prosciutto.
The prosciutto is the kicker.
Tell me that's not good.
That's very good.
Tell me that's not good. I asked her to do a full factor cap. She's yet to commit to that.
I've tried to do like, hey, you guys. That's more just
No, that went
straight
off
This
the
up
happened
rails
yesterday.
right there.
No, this happened yesterday too. She had some momentum
You should've
going,
stopped
and
at
then that one.
prosciutto.
The prosciutto was the winner.
Yeah.
Then she went in the supermarket. Like jumping on mushroom.
It was Mario.
Wasn't life better when we were just trying to get to Zelda no, we were trying to get
The
to the
princess.
The princess.
Was she
and
named Zelda?
Yeah.
No.
Princess Peach.
No, Bowser. You got to go through Bowser. And,
Was that the guy that came out at the end over the
Bowser
castle?
was always the end.
Wasn't Donkey Kong in there too?
No,
He is
Donkey
one of
Kong's
the
a
big
different
bads.
game.
Yeah, but Donkey Kong was in Mario Brothers too, no?
Like
It's
Mario
in the
Brothers.
universe, but like the biggest,
I know.
baddest one was always Bowser.
Yeah, Bowser
That's
was
also,
always
if you're actually going to see the movie, Mario Kart movie,
Have you
Bowser's
seen it
the
yet?
big bad. I've only seen the trailer. The movie isn't out yet.
Is that one you? Because if I had to guess, that feels like one you will not see, and that's a very short list.
I think it's one that if I have nothing to do on a rainy Saturday and I have it they're playing at the Alamo and I don't have to pay for it,
She's going to
I'll
go see it.
That's yeah.
Gee,
that does
let's see.
sound
So I'm
like
just getting a screenshot from DeAndre on the social media team that somebody on the YouTube chat says it looks like I had a rough night. Well, I was out late with our old friends Jazz and Janice from the social media team, just drinking wine. But I got to bed by 11:30, but then I woke up at 3:30. So
It's pretty quick turnaround.
4
It's also
hours
pretty
of sleep.
standard for me. But I think
It's going to be you on Saturday mornings, Lee.
Well, I was just going to say, can you wake me up for my flight on Tuesday morning out of Houston?
Here's what I noticed on a Teams meeting today, a video conferencing meeting. I looked very pale. I need to get back to tanning, but maybe the big hair makes me look older.
I don't think you look pale.
I think a lot of people are asking the same question. The tanning.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The
What do
tanning.
you have instead? Oh, do you think LeBron's actually going to play defense in the next game?
What triggered you?
you
What
don't
just
look
happened?
pale.
I got triggered.
I was
I
talking
got
about the
triggered.
tan.
I got triggered. I'm sorry.
I didn't even do anything.
I apologize. I got triggered.
You should
For the table.
taller.
What were you going to say? The tanning?
I don't know, the tan.
I love going in a tanning bed.
How often do you do
you
that?
really?
When I, like, at my best, a couple days a week to build the base, and then you could go once a week. But I love it.
So I've never been in one, so I don't
Eating
even know
bacon inside a tanning bed, you are just saying, you know
You
what?
should cook it on the tubes.
Let's go.
Wrap it like a bacon-wrapped hot dog, only it's bacon-wrapped tanning
And you get a
tubes.
nice nap in there for 15 minutes?
Is it like back in the day when...
Is it like? I'm not telling you about the space shuttle.
Well,
It's-
just
you
let
go
me
into it,
finish
You've
here.
never
Let me
been in a
finish here.
tanning bed.
I've never been. I have no reason to go into a tanning bed.
Good for you, Al.
Jersey Shore. Remember back in the day where they'd always go
So
tan?
I have the big
Is that-
hair.
Is that kind of... Is that what it is?
I have the big hair. Now I just get a GTL. What was the G?
I don't
It's
know.
Jim. It's
Jim
Jim.
Yeah,
tanning.
Jim. That's
Come
right.
on.
What's
Jim
the L?
tanning.
Laundry.
Oh,
GTL.
Oh, yeah, laundry. Yep.
Gosh, I missed 2003. Travis and Sliwa continues right now.
thank you, Chris. I'm very happy that you've never been a tan, nor have I.
I don't think
Let's
either
go
of
sometime,
us...
Sliwa. I'll lotion you up.
I don't think...
You get that part of my back that I can't quite reach?
Need more on my
Use a
lower
spray.
back. Need more on my lower back. But I think you'd be more surprised if I said, "Oh yeah, I've been to a tanning."
I would have been shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like my batting average with knowing what you have and have not done is not great, but that would have been one. I think if I had money to bet, I would have bet a good chunk of my money on you not being a tanning bed guy.
We should do. You and I should start GTLing. Gym, tan, and laundry.
I do none of those things. I literally like the gym. No, not for me. Tanning, I get the sun when I go outside. I don't need to do that. And the laundry,
Don't you walk outside? Can we call that as a gym workout?
we took a nice walk yesterday.
Okay.
But it was a stroll more than a hard workout. And laundry, Susan is like, she's got like a
system?
I don't even know what's this. Before the pair of pants has even hit the floor, they're in the washing machine. I don't even know how it happens. Like, sometimes I'll forget to pull my wallet out or whatever. I'm like, hey, where's those pants? Oh, they're in the wash. I'm like, took about 5 minutes ago. How could they possibly be in the
Is
wash?
she washing the jeans? Jeans, they get it. They get a little time. They get a
Sombreros?
shelf life.
Stretching. What was the other one we had today? I forget what it was. And me washing my pants. Like, I don't, a week. The pants get worn for a week.
No, a week is,
Pants
that's
get worn
easy.
for a week.
That's easy.
The rule is if the belt is still in them, don't take them. That's it. If the belt is out, then they can go into the laundry. But
So she
otherwise,
has her own
leave 'em
rules.
alone. What was the other thing that we argued about today? I forget what it is.
Don't remember
She'll
either.
remind me when I get home.
Kind of the whole point of the show is to argue about things.
It always is. Let's try a quick phone call here. Let's go to Anaheim and Gene. Gene, you're on with Trav and Slee. What's up, Gene? Gene.
Hello.
Hey, Gene.
It's actually Dean.
Dean, my mistake. What's up, Dean?
Dean.
Yep. What's
No
up?
worries. No worries. Yeah, I just wanted to point out the Dodgers have always been a great run organization. They have their over time, including 5 in a row. And I've been a fan, and they seem to rip my heart out all the time.
Well, and we appreciate you calling in. I think for most part, Trav, Dodger fans, I don't think anybody's going to really complain about the Dodgers, of how they run the organization, what they're doing in the regular season. Are they bringing up the right prospects? Are they trading for the right pieces? Are they investing their money on the right guys? I mean, listen, you could, like anything, we could always complain about stuff. I feel like Dave Roberts probably gets the most of complaints, but those complaints are in-game situations.
Yeah.
Ultimately, all you can ask for the team that you root for in sports is, are they in the mix every year? And they are. Now, that doesn't mean that the Dodgers can't be incredibly disappointing over the stretch of these because you feel like you should be cashing in more. But I think for the most part, there's a curiosity coming up to this season. There's a little bit of, well, this is different. We're just used to having all these really good players coming in, and now you're in the process of having still a lot of good players, but also developing guys at the same time.
They still have the really good players coming in. They just don't have the really good veteran players coming in for the first time in a long time. Because what Dean was saying is right, that going back way back into the 40s, right, when they were the first team to kind of tap the African-American market and put players of color into the big leagues, they identify talent better than anybody. They develop them better than anybody. The one stretch where they didn't do it particularly well is when Frank McCourt had the team and was kind of just cutting costs all over the place.
Yeah.
And now they're back to where they've been forever and ever. Now they just got to get lucky. It's random. Yeah, I know. How about the random lands on you once in a while? Doesn't seem like
Freeman had some quotes of that too. The randomness.
Yeah. No, we're done with that. I don't want to hear that anymore. Lincoln Riley has some pretty awesome numbers and one that makes you go say, huh? That's not good. And it better not happen again this year. It's next. It's Travis Lee, 710.
The hair's bigger, it only lasts like a month. When it's smaller, you can maybe stretch 2 months out of that product. Oh, little king.
Tricks of the
Elvis.
trade.
Suspicious Minds is my... There's 3 favorite Elvis songs for me.
Jailhouse Rock.
No. Suspicious Minds, Kentucky Rain, and The Wonder of You. Now, The Wonder of You, Kentucky Rain were done later. This was done in 1969. Jailhouse Rock was like early 60s. Heartbreak Hotel was 1955.
Hound Dog?
Hound Dog was early 60s. I like Hound Dog.
Yeah.
I've danced to Burning Love, by the way. Just a hunk of burning love. Ah!
You would be, you know what?
That's not bad.
You would be an amazing Elvis impersonator.
You would.
You would, because you got the moves.
You got hips, bro.
I've got the moves. Thanks.
Yes, you've got the moves.
Not to be confused with You've Got the Touch.
You can sing a little bit.
As much as you hear here.
Yeah.
When I did the Where's AD? Have you seen AD?
I don't know
have you seen AD?
I don't know if we told you.
I want a sequin jumpsuit in here next lit.
No, I'm not kidding. I don't know if we told you, but I know Trav and I afterwards were like, that was really, really good.
Well, that goes back to an old morning show bit. Like Keyshawn took 3 weeks once off, and we did like, have you seen Key? Because it was.
And you know what I heard, Chris? That
yes.
They made the Elvis movie last year. I heard that they came down to you or Austin Butler. They ended up choosing Austin Butler, but they should have chosen you to play Elvis.
Well, he couldn't. He was
they're
doing
gutless.
the imaging here.
They're gutless.
He actually told them, I don't have time for this.
So should we work that into Mandy Awards too? An Elvis impersonation bit where I just come out?
I'm just saying,
not
this
bad.
feels like we're on to something.
Where do we get an outfit like that? But I need a husky size.
I don't. It's an Elvis suit.
Well, this is turning into the Dundies
We get
pretty quickly.
1972
Taylor knows a
Elvis.
guy.
We're good,
Taylor knows a guy.
right?
I feel like Morales owns 5 of those suits.
Yeah, this is easy.
Yeah, the question is
This
just
is easy.
which
Which
one
suit
should
do
be.
you want?
Which Vegas floor show version are we looking for?
Well, I'm
He
no
gets
longer-
home, he just has a closet. He's like, oh.
I'm no longer in the skinny Elvis days. I'm in
You're
74.
in 70s Elvis.
Yeah, peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
I think they had some marshmallow cream in there too,
Oh.
right? The fluffer nutter. I think that's what that's called. I'm pretty sure that's what that's called.
So we want an Elvis. By the way, soon there's an email going out. Everybody's got to sort of not do something if you don't want to, but ideas for Mandy Awards too. Like, everybody's thrown out ideas over the last year. So
Well, I just gave you mine.
for me to be Elvis.
impression.
Can I make another diss track for everybody everywhere and do it to another Taylor Swift song for every
Station-wide?
host? Yeah.
I like it.
I do too.
What also, because we're going to have a DJ this time versus the band probably, where the DJ Ray, who was out for pickleball, to fill some time, what if he just plays the worst Taylor Swift songs on purpose to annoy Emily?
Emily?
There are no bad Taylor Swift songs.
There's none. You know what's kind of funny? My girl's cousin, I just caught the tail end of the conversation. And did she perform in Vegas, was it?
She was in Vegas last weekend.
Okay. And,
Why'd you ask her?
And she was saying, all I heard was my girl saying, come on, was it really that good? And basically her cousin was talking about how it's the greatest show. She went 3+ hours, did 44 songs, kind of the same thing. And I'm like, here we go. We got another one. Just
You know what? There's a lot of them.
What happens if
The
she
Swifties, right?
if that friend converts Lady Slee into a Swiftie?
She's not. She's already said I'm not a fan. Doesn't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah, she doesn't care for
Well,
Taylor
we're
Swift.
going to have to separate Lady Slee and producer Emily at the
Yeah,
beginning.
what if they
just
sit
kinda
next to each other?
Doing this, and
Right?
moving
On each other
onto the
last
side.
year. We can
Yeah.
talk about other things than Taylor Swift. There are things about me.
Yellow Jackets.
Well, maybe
I'm
we
sure
don't
that
sit.
anybody that doesn't watch that.
Maybe we don't sit all the shows together. Maybe Emily and Taylor can sit at a different table so they feel how it feels to win a Mandy Award.
Walked right into
It was telegraphed.
Walked
It was
right
telegraphed.
into it. Yeah.
Travis and Sliwa continues right now.
that was like a Jared Goff pass in his rookie season. The entire defense was running to that spot of the field. They knew exactly.
You
what
know how
was
there's
coming.
some stadiums where you don't actually have a seat. It's more like standing room where you're part of a bleacher section.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to be.
We'll be kind of looking through the hole in the fence like this. Kinda,
Where's
hey, what's
Sliwa?
going
He's
on
over in
here?
that corner. Where's Trav? He's over in that corner.
Speaking of quarterbacks, you see where the Chargers and Justin Herbert said that they're kind of starting to talk to each other about an extension. And this is kind of the opposite, right? Like when the Rams were getting ready to decide whether or not they were going to extend Jared Goff, he hit it exactly the right time. They had gone deep into the playoffs. They'd gone to a Super Bowl. So it's like, well, yeah, we got to do it. He's our quarterback. That Jared Goff said yes to $100 million or so, not a big surprise.
Agreed.
This is a little different, right? There's nobody in the NFL, whether it's fans, media, or teams, executives, players, coaches, that doesn't think Justin Herbert has the goods, right? No one's looking at Justin Herbert saying, you know what, I just don't see it. Everybody thinks he's got the goods. Why does he want to stay? That's the part, and I understand that they can offer him, more money. They can offer him the money sooner. But if I'm Justin Herbert,
How much more? Just do you know? Or
I don't.
Okay.
The short answer is I'm not entirely sure. And quarterbacks don't move around a ton because it's one of those things. If I came to you today and said, Slee, how does $200 million sound? You'd be a fool not to say yes. To say, oh no, wait and see what comes up next. But if it's about winning, the Chargers have very clearly proven they don't know what they're doing. Right? They've been around for how long? And they've had, I would say they've never had a good season, but they're few and far between.
60+ years now.
Right? You saw what happened last year. You saw what happened the year before that. Justin Herbert would have a line of suitors around the block to do it. Why would he want to do it other than I can get my money today instead of having to wait? And obviously football is risky.
All right, it's kind of funny because when I didn't know the angle you were going to take with this, and I didn't know, and I'm a kind of a similar angle here. Look, there are some Charger fans out here in Southern California. Some of them know that I'm not a Charger fan simply because of Dean Spanos. But I'm going to focus on just Dean Spanos. Your owner is very, very important to your team. The success of your franchise, it starts at the top. It doesn't matter a business, a company, your parents, this, that. It starts at the top. It trickles its way down. If I'm Justin Herbert, I, no question about it, just have some hesitation. Hey, I want to really think about this, because if I'm going to be with this Chargers organization for the next 10 years or whatever it is, right, the money's going to come. The money's not the issue. Do I have a chance to win? And people could say, well, you're in the Los Angeles market. You'd be crazy to leave the Los Angeles market.
You're the sixth most popular team here in town.
Okay, not just that. The NFL, it doesn't. I actually don't. It's the one sport that I think it matters the least.
Joe
what
Burrow's
market
in
that you're
Cincinnati, and he's one of the faces of the league.
The Green
Josh
Bay
Allen's
Packers
in
with Aaron
Buffalo.
Rodgers, the Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes. I don't think the market's that big of a deal. I think it's where can I go find the most success. I'm going to use this as an example because they were in the same draft class. Okay, I believe, and if I'm a little off on this, Trav, you might remember Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, and Phillip Rivers. If I got those
Sounds
three
right,
we're all in the same draft class. Okay, where you get drafted is very important. Phillip Rivers is one of my favorite players of all time. I love Phillip Rivers, and I always felt like
he's really good.
Not only was he really good, he's a gamer. Yeah. That dude would play through anything.
I agree.
You kind of felt like this guy really wants to win for the city. It means a lot to him. There's only so much you can do. Mm-hmm. There's only so much that individuals do. And it doesn't mean that the Chargers didn't have success in the past, because they did. Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tomlinson, Phillip Rivers, they had some success. Eli Manning has 2 Super Bowls. Ben Roethlisberger, what did he end up with? 2?
2-1.
Okay, 2-1. He's got 2 Super Bowls. The Giants are known as being a franchise that understands what they're doing. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a franchise that understands what they're doing. I use that as an example because it could very well, Justin Herbert can be looking 10 years down the road from now and saying, damn, I was boxed out. Phillip Rivers was boxed out. And I know it's not easy to go win a Super Bowl, but I'm just using the example. Why should it be a guarantee or a lock that Justin Herbert signs with the Chargers?
This is the first name that popped in mind. I'm trying to think of a quarterback that put up bonkers numbers, was really good. Everybody knew he was really good, but never had a bunch of opportunities to go deep into the playoffs. And the first name that popped into my head was Warren Moon. Warren Moon is in the Hall of Fame. Warren Moon is one of the great quarterbacks of his generation. But because the Oilers ran that goofy offense, it never really happened there. He went to Minnesota. And he had some looks, but Warren Moon was a much better player than his playoff record would indicate, right? Maybe Herbert's on a path like that, because when you look at what the other guys of his generation are and where they're, Mahomes, we're done. Don't even need to say another word. Jalen Hurts is set up to have a nice run in Philadelphia with that team. Joe Burrow in Cincinnati is already set up to have a nice run. Josh Allen in Buffalo is set up to have a nice run there. They seem to have the right coaches. They seem to have the right players. They've got the right – and this is a little bit fluid. The Chargers don't. And it starts with the ownership, which isn't going to change.
He ain't spending.
No.
He's going to where he could save $1, he will save $1.
And I really do think there's something like the Bengals were really bad for a long time, but even the Bengals got to the Super Bowl kind of sort of once in a while, right? And Joe Burrow kind of fixed it like that. The Chargers they're not bad, but they feel like they're underachieving. The Chargers clearly underachieved 2 years ago when they missed the playoffs. The Chargers clearly underachieved last year, though. Even though they got in, they blew, what was it, a 27-point lead
against Jacksonville.
Against Jacksonville. That they're doing less than they probably should. Cincinnati's doing a little more. Buffalo's doing a little more. These other teams are doing a little more with the great quarterbacks that they've been given. If I'm Justin Herbert, do I want to sign up? Do I want to be that?
Well,
I
don't know who sounds similar? The person that you're saying that's also been in the news lately, but has put up bonkers numbers and hasn't gone deep in the playoffs is Lamar Jackson. But he has the coach. He has an organization that seems to know what he's doing, but they can't get deep in the playoffs. So it's something that going deep in the playoffs and getting to the Super Bowl is something that has a lot to do with luck.
I think to an extent, I think you kind of create your own luck, and all you could do if you're
Lamar's been part of the reason they haven't advanced in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. So let me give an example. You were reading a quote earlier.
You can blame Herbert for that playoff why they didn't get there too. But
this I think a good example. Freddie Freeman, we were talking about how he likes owners going out. He likes that the Padres are spending. He loves the competition, all that.
Yeah.
This offseason, there was an opportunity for the Chargers. Sean Payton wanted to coach the Chargers. I think it's pretty clear that Sean Payton wanted to be with the Los Angeles
No doubt
Chargers.
about it.
The guy has the pedigree. The guy has won a Super Bowl. Drew Brees
stood
was
with
with
quarterbacks.
the San Diego Chargers and eventually ended up in New Orleans and got a Super Bowl with Sean Payton.
Became a Hall of Fame player.
Okay, that's a perfect example of if it's set up for you. I'm not, I'm going to be as nice as possible to the current coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. That dude doesn't look like he's ready for the moment, and maybe he needs to
What
be.
makes you say that?
Yeah, yeah. And you had an opportunity.
Cite your sources, Sliwa.
And you had an opportunity to go get Sean Payton potentially, but your owner says, "Yeah, if I could save a dime, I'm gonna save a dime." And that's what he does.
right? Because
paying 3 coaches.
Well, but again,
you want to win or no?
Some
You're
guys
in Los
would.
Angeles. It's the right coach to come bring in. I mean, you pay $1 for the stadium in rent.
And the coach, they didn't make the change because they didn't think Peyton was a better option. They didn't make the change because they didn't want to do what Emily just said, which is pay a bunch of people to do the same job, right? And sometimes this is something I think the Rams are amazing at.
Remember the Anthony Lynn quote on the Chargers?
Sure. Oh my gosh! But this is what I'm talking about. The Rams, when they realized, you know what? We gave Todd Gurley all that money. This doesn't work. Let's get out from under this. He was gone. Same thing with Jared Goff. Same thing with Bobby Wagner. And not that it's always the player's fault, but this doesn't work for us. We need to move on from this. And they do. That's leadership. That's vision. Not insisting, this has to be right. I gave him all this money. Well, it's clearly not. It doesn't work.
Anthony Lynn's quote, this is up in San Francisco, "This organization will do whatever it takes to win. Resources out the ears." That was different for me compared to what I was going through in L.A. It goes on to say whatever he said. Why do we say that? Because here's the question that Justin Herbert has to ask himself. Does this organization, are they willing to do whatever it takes to win? Tell me how you can sit here confidently and say yes to that.
No, you can't. You're lying to yourself. The only conclusion to that question is no, they won't.
Yes.
They won't. That's the only conclusion, that if you're being intellectually even remotely honest, you say, well, no, they've owned that team a long time. A long time. And they have not done what you're talking about. The Dump coming up next. It's Travis.
We haven't gotten to today. Yes, it's time for the dump.
I want to start right here. I want to start with a little USC stuff because I saw a number this morning, Al, that made me go, wait, hold on a second. This is both incredibly impressive and deeply alarming at the same time.
Okay.
Lincoln Riley has been to the college football playoff 4 times. He is 0-4 in those 4 appearances, which means he's never gotten into the final. He's lost in the semis each time. He's also had 3 Heisman Trophy winners, right? Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and, of course, last year with Caleb Williams. Those 2 things can't come together, right? And it's not because Mayfield and Murray and Williams were not up for the task. They obviously were great college quarterbacks, and we'll see how they all end up doing in the pros. It's because they can't stop anybody. And I was reading some quotes from Alex Grinch, who's their defensive coordinator at SC. He's like, well, you can't microwave this. Of course you can. You just microwaved the offense. That's exactly what they did. They showed up with this Clay Helton pile of garbage, and they microwaved it into a, hey, is
and
this
they
the
told
best
you they
team?
were going to do it.
I know. They went out and got the best quarterback. Go find that guy that's the equivalent or the second best or the 5th best or the 10th best or whatever it is. Go get one in the secondary. Go get a couple on the defensive line. Go get one at linebacker and microwave the damn defense. What do you mean you can't do it? You've already proven that you can.
All right. Is this, because I would think that this is a good pitch. You tell me if I'm wrong on this. If you're going out there and you're telling one of the best defensive coordinators out there, or you're trying to tell somebody that you know can get it done on the defensive end, on the defensive side. If I told you that, listen, if you come to USC, we're going to give you whatever you want, and it doesn't matter. You come to USC. By the way, we're going to put up 40 points a night. We're going to put up 45 points a night. All you have to do is make this defense respectable. All you have to do, you could come in and kind of be the savior of the USC football program, not because you're stopping teams from scoring. You don't need to give up 10 points.
Yeah, you don't need to win 14-10.
It's okay. You gave up 3 touchdowns and a field goal, 24. That's fine.
Give up 4 touchdowns a game.
We scored 40, but we won 40-24. Right. Isn't that an attractive pitch to come to USC? I mean,
are you talking players or staff?
I'm talking about staff first, and then that will trickle down to the players.
Yeah. The staff is, I don't need you to turn into the 85 Bears. I just need you to give up 1 touchdown per quarter. That shouldn't be a lot to ask. 28. I'm going to give you a 28-point cushion. Okay? I'm going to score 40. 28 is fine. Maybe once in a while we're going to need you to hold them to 21 or 24. But this is going to be good enough. And that it hasn't happened previously.
I think they'll fix it.
I
think they'll fix it.
I'm optimistic.
I have more faith because...
But why didn't you fix it before?
Let me tell you why I think they'll fix it. I think USC will fix it. And what I mean by that is you had to go get Lincoln Riley. That was the most important piece, and you went and got it. Now you kind of start looking at, especially you're about to go to a conference where it's Michigan and it's Ohio State, and it's, you have to fix it.
Penn State.
You have to fix it. And if you think you're just going to go outscore these teams, go play in November in Michigan, and it's basically freezing outside. You're not putting up 40 points.
Get a microwave in the defensive room. It worked in the offense. Go microwave. Look, sometimes that frozen. By the way, Trader Joe's mac and cheese that you nuke, terrific. It's like your mama made it. It's cheesy. Take that plastic off. It's absolutely perfect.
Trader Joe's.
You can microwave
some mac and cheese for the table.
It's pretty good. It was today, 1992, March 28th, that one of the great buzzer beaters in NCAA tournament took place.
There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up. Yes!
That, of course, was the final shot on what was literally a perfect night for Christian Leitner. He didn't miss all day. He made every shot from the floor. He made every shot from the foul line.
Wow.
And he hit the turnaround, buzzer-beating jump
most
shot.
Most iconic moment, I think, in all college basketball.
It's right up there. It's one of them for sure. The only thing is it didn't happen in the finals. It happened in the regional final. But if you are old enough to have been alive for that, you just need to hear the sound. Grant Hill's on the baseline, throws it 3/4 length. He moves left. He turns around right. He lets it go. bang. One
And
of
that
the
it was
great
against
moments.
Kentucky, too.
Yep.
Also, speaking of which, that the perfect night for Christian Laettner, it actually happened again this past weekend with Jordan Miller from Miami. He had a perfect shooting night from the free throw line and from the floor, and it's a feat.
It's an amazing feat. And you said Jordan Miller's his name, Em?
Yeah.
So taking nothing away from Mr. Miller, we're not. This was 1992. This was 31 years ago. Everybody remembers. Jordan, no one's going to remember Jordan because it's just not the same. It's Christian Laettner. It was Duke. It was against
Kentucky.
And
it was a buzzer
Rick
beater
Pitino
that
was
closed out that game. Yeah,
everything about it just.
If you're looking for perfect offense, probably don't watch Saturday's game, San Diego State.
How's my guy Ledee going to do in the big show?
I'm a fan. By the way,
they're so tough.
Can I tell you something that's kind of funny?
Physical.
This kind of irked me a little yesterday, but it is what it is. There were a lot of shows just complaining about the style of San Diego State. They're basically saying that they're not good for the tournament.
They're
listen,
good for you.
But listen, I get it's not the prettiest thing in the world. What do you want them to do? If that's their style and it's working, all of a sudden, here we are talking about Lincoln Riley and USC football. I'm a fan. If you said, hey, you got to have the best offense or the best defense, I think I have a better shot of winning with the best defense. I think that applies in basketball as well. I'm not telling you it's a perfect product to watch, but if you're winning, what do you want them to do?
There are two different things going on here, right? There is entertain me, which is kind of where I am because let's say I didn't have a daughter that went to San Diego State,
sure.
Right? If I was just like, I don't want to watch San Diego State beat
Fair.
someone up and win 45-40.
Fair.
But if I do have skin in the game like you do,
I don't care how you win, just
you're
win.
in the Final Four. I don't care if
Just
they're winning
win.
10-8. Get in there and win and get it done. Little break in NBA news right here. He has missed 10 games with that sprained ankle, but Phoenix Suns star Kevin Durant will make his return tomorrow against the Minnesota Timberwolves, barring a setback. League sources are telling The Athletic. That's good news.
Go Suns.
Yeah, right, because of beat Timberwolves, that's good news for the Lakers. You're not going to catch Phoenix. You can't catch Minnesota. This is good news for the Lakers.
Yeah, the Minnesota game, actually, that's kind of interesting because they play them on Friday. You're not going to – I don't think you'll catch the Clippers. I don't think you'll catch the Suns. So now the question is, can you jump some of these other teams? Usually when we ask the question of, hey, pick a team in the West – there's a lot of people that say the Phoenix Suns. He's only played 3 games for the Suns.
That's hard to imagine.
So, they have, as much as it is as we look at the ramp up for Braun and everything else, you got like 6-7 games for him, and then you're in the playoffs. So
there is a good reason not to pick the Suns, which you just laid out, but I think I'm still picking the Suns. If Kevin Durant is there, it still feels like the right pick.
You know what could be the first round? And we'll see if Paul George is going to be healthy. It could be Clippers and the Suns in the first round.
Yeah, they're 4-5 right now, right?
Yeah.
I'll watch that. That seems interesting. One more. A woman got her finger stuck in a shopping cart at Target. Emily, this feels like you wanted me to read that so you could tell a story.
Yeah, so the story from the woman at Target, they had to call 911 and have essentially
cut her finger off?
Not the jaws of life, but kind of the jaws of life against the Target cart. But when I was in elementary school, a kid got his head stuck in the stairwell. Okay, so our stairwell at school, it came up and there was little bars, and he got his little head stuck in between.
How old of a kid?
I would say he's probably a first grader, kindergartner, or whatever.
How scared I'd be.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he got his head stuck in there, couldn't get it out. They had to put butter around his neck and mayo or anything else to grease him out.
That's
of
how you
the,
know you're in the
thing.
South. They try to liberate him with mayonnaise.
Yeah. So he eventually got out. He's not still stuck there today, but it was
They've been
traumatic.
feeding him through the
He's an adult.
the bar.
He's never coming out. They're not going to be able to cut him loose. Let's do a little super crosstalk.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles.
KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk. Are we ready for Mason and Ireland to join Travis and Slee?
Super Crosstalk begins.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
No tamale. Andy, I saw you eating tamales in the past.
You go tamale?
Hell yeah, I went tamales.
Tamale or not tamale?
Did you have all 4 varieties?
I did not have all 4 varieties. that.
Would you feel?
Travis?
Would you feel
two down,
uncomfortable asking the question of getting one of each?
No, it was really that feels aggressive ahead of a 3-hour radio show. It has nothing to do with shame.
Yeah.
By the way, I can never eat before a show.
Yeah.
During a show, especially, I cannot eat. I have a breakfast sandwich in the morning. I'm sure you can. But I on a full stomach, I can't even do a show.
But you got to be careful.
What did you have?
I had a chicken and a birria.
Yeah, those are two I had. There's mole and there's what's the fourth one? There's a fourth one.
Cheese.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Mace. I prefer not to eat before a show.
Yes.
Michael does the same. Michael will wait till after a Laker game.
Really?
He will wait.
He'll
whenever he
chips
eats
during the
Laker
game.
Well, the potato chips he does, but he will wait after a game and say he'll drive down to In-N-Out or something.
Michael will also wander off to eat during his show.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I've experienced that.
Pre-show, I have the same ritual. I have a quad espresso that I chug. And then I've got
Why chug it?
Because I hate the taste of
He's
coffee.
in a hurry.
Then I've got
Why not just take a 5-hour energy or something like that?
Because that's all chemicals and coffee's like natural. It's from
there goes
it's
that,
from
partner.
the earth, right? And then I drink a grande nitro brew, and I chug that too.
Do you not sleep at night?
No, I sleep perfectly at night. I have help at night. I have help help before the show and help at night.
You're going up, then down.
Exactly right.
got a game
200 milligrams of THC takes care of it.
Not 200.
That's too many, Andy.
That is, you're not a dead man walking.
Not after that much caffeine, though.
Yeah.
Mace, you're like a
20's
coordinator.
too
He's got like an offensive coordinator in the morning. He's got
Yes.
a defensive coordinator at night.
Always
Slow it
chasing
down.
that high. Chasing that high.
You've been doing this a long time. Have you never eaten while you're doing shows, or is this a new...
I'm sure there's a stretch maybe where I ate, but no, I generally don't like eating during the show. Plus, it's sloppy, and you're trying to talk, and you're all that.
but it's
Love
so good.
eating in front of people, period.
You know what? That's a fair point. I do not like eating in front of people or with people generally.
The damage behind the scenes.
You and I have only had one meal together, and we've known each other for a relatively long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
We went to Guisados and had tacos that one day.
Guisados, so good.
But
so
you didn't
good.
seem uncomfortable eating tacos.
No, I was fine. I hate
you ate them in the corner like a raccoon.
Business dinner, right? I don't like having a business. Like, have the business and then have the dinner. Have them in two different places. Like, I'll eat, but I don't want to do business while I'm eating.
So I heard you guys were trying to hijack Taylor for a live show during your show.
Yeah, how about that, huh?
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's such a good idea. I think we're going to do it
Taylor,
first.
were you into it?
Yeah, but for the Travis and Sliwa show, you understand, right, Mace? Come on.
Yeah, no, Diggs,
They stole the idea.
I do understand.
I suggested that he just produce our show.
Yep.
Play the intros live.
Sure.
And then he could just kind of like set up wherever he wants and play
Right.
just the intros for your guys'
We have
show.
so many LA bands that have come out of the woodwork
awesome.
saying, "Yeah,
That's
we'll
awesome.
do it. We're totally into it."
You should have like a Mason and Ireland Palooza and
Try
have
out.
like
That's a good idea.
various different bands on various different
That's a
days.
great idea.
A battle of the bands.
Yeah.
Oh,
Battle of the
Well,
Bands.
what Bergman says, Bergman, who started the Blue Review, Bergman says that we're allowed to play recorded intros from bands, but we're not allowed to have bands in studio.
Why not?
Because he's just a hard-ass jerk. That's exactly why.
Jesus,
Why can't we
Greg?
do that, Greg?
Yeah, Greg.
Supporting the local artists.
Artists,
And
yeah.
I want Ted Leitner on the show, too.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Put a pin and was he the hang a star on that one, guy?
Hey,
No, that's
No,
Jerry
that's
Coleman.
Jerry
That's Jerry
Coleman. That's
Coleman.
Jerry
That's Jerry Coleman.
Jerry
Leitner had a catchphrase, didn't he?
We don't have room. Where are
I
you
don't
going to
think-
put
I don't
these
think
people?
Leitner
Well, I'm
had.
not saying they got to set up a stage.
Okay, you know what they
Just
could
play
do?
the guitar.
That's what he
Tiny
wants.
desks.
No, you know what they
That's
could
what he
do?
wants.
You know what they
What?
could do? And I don't know how you're grabbing the audio, but can they be in the lobby? We have all the cameras kind of pointed out that
Yes,
way. Can
yes.
they be in the lobby facing you guys?
That's a great idea.
and do the whole setup. There's
See?
plenty of space there.
That's what I'm talking
Just figure
about.
out the audio portion of it, which I'm
And
sure
maybe
there's a
figure
way
out
to
the
do it.
audio.
Maybe
Super
an
easy
Ivor
to do.
Morales, it'll be a yacht rock band. It'll be Gino Manelli.
I don't usually come in during Super Crosstalk, and I'm on my knees because there's not a chair for me.
Yeah, not the first time.
That's
Why do we
why
all
you
go
can't
quiet?
have a live band.
No one did anything.
That's why you listen to Super Crosstalk. You never know what you'll miss.
Exactly.
What brings you in, Chris?
Corporate,
Welcome, Chris.
corporate Greg completely made that up.
Made what up?
That we can't have a live band.
Oh, really?
What rule is there that we can't have a
Yeah,
live
it's
band?
absolutely true. There
was
is no
absolutely
rule.
no rule. We never said that there was a rule. I said that
Mace
there's
made it
no
sound
room.
like you had a rule behind it.
Yeah, no, you have a rule. You're not allowed to have people.
It's a Bergman rule.
room or whatever.
No,
It's not an
Mace is just trying
FCC
to
rule.
Find things now.
You know what he does? He loves shooting down bits. Bit flies by. It's like
Bit killer.
down.
Bit killer.
Yeah, bit killer. Bit killer.
What was that game? Duck
Hunt?
Duck Hunt.
No, you're taking us off topic, though.
Yeah.
Why, Corporate Greg, did you tell them?
Yeah, why Corporate Greg?
No live band, no live music.
Trav,
Where
I would
are
just
you
go
going
up to the
to put
TV.
them?
Sleep. Come on.
So Chris, their whole premise is to put a live band, a big brass band from the Philharmonic.
Not a big brass. We're not going to
in
have
the
the
studio.
LA
No.
Phil in here.
And they want it to be the rejoin music.
It's a good idea.
What is this, the Dave Damashek show?
Dave
he do that?
Damashek did
Yeah,
do that.
Yes,
what
he
he
did,
He
actually.
lasted, what, 7 months on the
He
radio?
brought a piano guy in, right?
Oh, it was a huge hit.
It was a big hit.
Now, see, you thought I did this bit to shoot at Greg, and really it was coming all around at
Oh,
you.
is that right? It was all coming down to me.
I bit flipped you.
Of course you did.
Not the first time.
A lot of room in that lobby.
He's a
I was
bit
gonna
killer.
say.
You're a bit flipper.
At Bev's Tamales is set up right outside there. There's enough room for
They
her
got an
cart,
umbrella.
all these people in line, an umbrella. You can set up a band out there.
the idea.
Taylor can do it for Travis and Sliwa.
Got it.
I love it.
Yeah, Taylor's going to fiddle for them.
You mentioned
Good idea.
that
Fiddler.
that Berg is the host of the Blue Report?
The Blue Review.
The Blue Review.
Pod-
The Blue
is it
Review.
called a podcast or is it called a?
It's on
YouTube.
YouTube.
It's on YouTube. So it's a show.
So there's a
Did you
YouTube
see-
component.
Did you watch the?
I did.
And
this is
what is
my
your review?
Blue Review.
Yes, go ahead.
I thought it was very solid.
Okay.
I think that Clinton talks too much, and Bergman, you're doing an interview of Clinton. That's what I think.
I actually thought that I did interview him too much in the first one.
You did. I watched the first one. It's like Bergman sits down for an up close and personal with Clinton Yates. That's
No,
what
we have
I
more.
felt
We have
like it
more of a
was.
conversation today.
It's ironic because
Good.
Bergman hates having guests.
Right, and then he interviews Clinton. You're right. You're right.
So how are you going to rectify that, Greg?
Well, today we did not. It was not a. It was more of a conversation. It was
Yeah,
not
I
an
love
interview.
that they record the show right during the time that we're putting our show together.
I love it so
That's
much,
what
too.
I love. I love.
Does he say, Mace, just, I'm going to call you back.
I'm
I'm
gonna
really
call you
busy
back.
right now.
I gotta go
I've got bigger guys
I
on the
got
other
Clinton
line.
on the YouTube right now. I got to let you go. That's the way it works.
What's the topic for tomorrow's, Berg?
Well, it's going to be for today, but it's going to be kind of like an X factor, and we talk about the dog that caught the home run ball from Michael Bush.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see
It was
that.
amazing.
That was
I did
fun.
see
Yeah,
that.
that was
pretty
fun.
With all the, like,
Did you
this
break
is-
that down?
Yeah, Clinton
was the
chalk
breed?
talked it.
Yes.
What is the best breed to catch home runs in spring training?
By the way, with all the
Golden
kind
Retriever.
of-
Come on now.
Yeah, Golden Retriever.
You've seen this before, just kind of idiot fans that are ripping balls away from kids and stuff like that. Just
Yep.
people take the balls way too seriously. I wouldn't be shocked or surprised that some fan just comes in, takes the ball from the dog, and is like, "Yeah, this is mine."
Yeah, they all fight over him.
So I was maybe 12 years old, and maybe it was a little bit, about 12. I just moved back to LA. I had lived in Phoenix for the 4 or 5 years prior to that. The Dodgers were my favorite team, having been born here. And then when I lived in Phoenix at the time, there was no Major League Baseball in Phoenix, right? So the Dodgers were kind of the hometown team. They were on the radio every night.
Yeah,
and it was that the Dodgers were the team in town. We come out to visit my grandmother one summer. My dad takes me to a Dodger game, and we get there early because I want to try to get autographs, right?
Yes.
So I bring my ball, I bring a pen. Steve Garvey's my guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Garvey, ironically, was playing for the Padres at this point.
Oh, right. This was
So
post
it was
Dodgers.
right after that. Garvey is going down the line and stops to start signing autographs. I beeline over to him.
Yep.
I get in the queue. I get Steve Garvey's autograph on my baseball.
Nice.
Like dream come
How old
true.
are you?
12.
12.
11,
Wow.
12.
He's
something like that.
41 at the time.
Last year.
I'm thrilled. I'm
Yes.
thrilled. As I'm turning around to go back to show my dad and my brother this ball that I got, and I'm so incredibly proud of.
Yep.
I get bumped. The ball falls out of
Oh,
my hand.
no.
Okay, and it rolls underneath the seat, which reminded me of what you're talking about. And I'm looking for, and I see it, and I'm going to reach it, and some woman
People are
grabs
ruthless.
it right before I'm about to pick it
really?
up. Grabs it, and I said, "That's mine." And
Yes.
she's like, "No, it's not." And I said, "It is. I just got it signed by him. It's my baseball."
Right.
And she was adamant that it was hers. It 1,000%
Was
not
yours.
hers. I burst into tears. I was just absolutely crushed that I had it. And to this day, the lady never gave me the ball back.
Oh, that is awful.
That's when you
Can
start
we
talking
go?
about
Can we do
adults.
a nationwide search? Find this woman.
I want to
We're going to
humiliate
dox
her.
this
Yeah.
woman.
It was.
Dox her,
I was so
exactly.
devastated. I'd waited, for as long as I liked baseball. I wanted that moment. No, this is mine. I'm like,
She's sitting on a couch
you don't
right now,
understand, it's
still
mine.
with that ball, just throwing it up
Toss
and
it
down.
up in the air.
The best
Bad,
part was
bad,
when
baby.
that kid cried.
Yeah. Hey,
Exactly.
So I hear this term all the. What is doxing? I don't understand what doxing is. I see stories about
I don't know
it.
what it means.
Do you know? Do you know? No.
Doxing,
I don't
to
really
put
know.
it in layman's terms, or at least terms I understand, doxing is essentially when you out the identity and often location of somebody.
Oh, okay.
Like you'll see like all the time, like somebody in, say, a video doing something offensive or aggressive or whatever, and people will go on Twitter saying like, hey, figure out who this person is.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes it reveals the actual person. Sometimes it reveals the wrong person.
Ooh. Right.
And that person ends up taking
Falsely doxed.
Yes.
Falsely doxed. Yeah.
Dox.
I want to make this very clear. Doxing is a horrible
It's
thing.
a really bad thing.
We should not engage in doxing.
Unless you steal an autographed Steve Garvey ball
And
from a
then
12-year-old.
Yes.
Then you
Dox
dox
to
her.
your heart's
Dox her
content.
is-
I'm sure we can find the right person 40 years after the fact.
Yeah, no.
How many times have you told that story? Like, think about it. Every time
my
you talk.
life?
Yeah, I mean, I'm imagining.
Dozens.
I was going to say, I'm just.
I know, I've never heard it.
I'm imagining that, especially at that age and how much you love baseball and you love that player, you're not
I
going to
know
forget a moment
exactly
like
where
that.
I was in Dodger Stadium. I vividly, because you're this close to Steve Garvey.
sure.
That's something like you're never going to forget, and it ended
Yeah.
in tragedy. Baseball gone.
Reach out to the.
Yeah, tragedy's probably an overstatement.
Well,
But
for
yes.
12-year-old Travis,
Yeah, I
it was a
guess that is a
tragedy.
tragedy.
The FBI
It
is still
absolutely
working
was.
on
Still
that
working
case.
on that case.
case
It's
is
a
still
cold-
open.
No, it's a cold case.
I remember I went
It's
back.
a cold
My
case.
dad's like, "What? Why are you crying? Like, what happened?" I'm like, "This lady, she took my ball." And it's like, "Well, where'd she go?"